Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Daisy. Welcome to my home in Texas. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, my name is Daisy Marquez. I am a social media influencer and entrepreneur, and today we're at my home in Dallas, Texas. When I first moved into this house, it was not what I was looking for, but I knew that I had potential. It was brand new, so I am the first homeowner, but I had a bigger vision for the home, so I definitely made a lot of renovations, and I'm just very excited to share it with the world. I decorated my house with no man in mind. This is literally a representation of just me. My home is very feminine. It's very, I guess you could say there are some parts of my house that are very opulent. I wanted it to not feel like you were in Texas, and so I wanted to bring some of LA into my home in Texas, also kind of just mix it a little bit. I did have some help from an interior designer, Megan. She is amazing. She really helped me with those finishing touches. So I just wanted to make it feel very just warm and inviting and feminine and girly, and I love it. Welcome to my home. So the first room that you are greeted by is the sitting area. I never really saw the point of a sitting area, but now being a homeowner, I get it, because when my family and friends visit me, the first room that we sit in is here. So it makes sense as to why it's a sitting area. I did get a little bit of help with the final touches of the entire house. Megan and her husband, Eduardo, helped me out with a lot of the decor that you see here. I wanted the sitting area to feel just very warm and inviting, very just cozy. This is my favorite corner of the house because of my bookcase over here. So I love everything to look aesthetically pleasing, but because this is tucked away in the little corner, I could just be as creative and fun as possible with the bookcase. So you have a plethora of books. I love romantic books. I love spicy books. I love books on spirituality and growth and self-improvement. Probably the main piece that I get asked about is this scale right here. So I am a Libra. So this is basically a representation of Libra, all about balance and the scales. So I just love looking at it because it reminds me to find balance in all aspects of my life. Again, this is just my favorite corner of the house. It just feels very homey to me. We have family and friends. Again, I come here every single morning, specifically this chair right here. I pick out a book, I drink my coffee, and I get to reading. I feel like, you know, reading is knowledge, and I love books so much. So I also do collect a lot of vintage items. I love to go to antique stores. So you're gonna find books all throughout the house. I have them literally everywhere, but a lot of the books that you see here are vintage from the 50s, from the 60s. You will also see I have some crystals. I have citron right here. I have some sage, just to make sure that the vibes are always good in my home. I love to sage my home probably maybe like once or twice a day, just honestly depends. But if you can see up here, we also replaced the lighting with this beautiful chandelier. I wanted to go with something massive at first, but then I was like, no, I don't want it to compete with the chandelier next to it, which you are about to see in a little bit. So because it is fall time right now, my house smells like a pumpkin spice latte. I always have candles burning. You are going to see a lot of candles throughout my house, a lot of books, a lot of florals. Again, my house is just very feminine, and so I feel like what really makes a home feminine is candles and florals. And most of the florals here are fake because I travel a lot and I don't have time to keep up with them. But my home literally just smells like fall, and I love it, and it's so cozy and warm, and you just want to make yourself a cup of coffee, watch your favorite movie, and cuddle up in a blanket. Whenever I first was talking to my interior designer, I really didn't know what to do with this wall, and so she recommended we do some wall art, and I just feel like it really does tie in the entire room together. And just so it didn't look plain, we added these light sconces, which I love. I feel like they definitely elevate the room. And again, I just wanted everything to be very neutral, very warm and inviting, and I love the cool tones and the browns. So my career did not start off, I guess, how the world would expect it. My career started because I was not able to attend college due to my legal status here in the United States. And because of that, I was limited and I fell into a depression. And my way of dealing with that was makeup. So my outlet was makeup, and I started to share tutorials with the world online. And it was like from day to night, my videos started to go viral, and I really became passionate about makeup, and that's how my YouTube channel started. And everything kind of took off when I was a senior in high school. And so as soon as I graduated high school, I moved to LA with a couple of dollars in my bank account and big dreams. And I knew that if I was going to move to LA, there was no room for failure. I wanted to make my mom very proud and repay her for all the sacrifices that she made for me. So I'm still doing YouTube now. So I've been doing YouTube for about 8 years now. And I'm very thankful that from having a career in the beauty industry, I was able to then have other projects and ventures. I was able to launch my own wine. I have my own nonprofit organization. I just launched my own perfume, my podcast. And so I really have been able to build my mini empire off of my passion, which is makeup. And I'm still very passionate about makeup. And yeah, I also invest into real estate. And so this is just one of my houses. And I'm very, very thankful to be in the position that I am today. So because of my legal status, I am under DACA, and so my nonprofit organization financially supports DACA recipients. So if you're watching this and know anybody that can use the financial support, you can go to daisydacafoundation.org and you can apply there. I also had just launched my $5,000 scholarship, and we chose the winner, so that has been amazing. If you want to laugh and giggle or just have some really real, raw, open conversations, my podcast, Diaries, is every single Thursday. You can find it on YouTube, Instagram. It's just called Diaries. I really, really do enjoy it. I plan on renovating one of my rooms into my podcast studio. Right now we are on a break, my first break since I started. But yeah, and so my perfume, Bella Perversa, just launched on my birthday, which was last month. It smells absolutely divine. It's very luxurious, and it just smells very sexy and feminine. And yeah, it's meant to empower women and make you feel confident and beautiful. And yeah, you can find it on bellaperversa.com. So now we are in the dining room area. There are these beautiful arcs on the walls. There is some molding. You also see some wall moldings right here. I really wanted the dining room to just feel very opulent. And by doing that, I then decided to replace the old chandelier that was here. So this chandelier really just brings the room together. I absolutely love it. Probably my favorite chandelier of the entire home. Whenever the sun starts to move, it actually moves throughout the crystal, so you see rainbows in the house, and it looks very, very beautiful, and I absolutely love it. This dining set is actually a gift. This was a gift from my beautiful mom. I know it looks very staged, but there is a reason behind it. I asked my interior designer if we could do some plate settings, because under these beautiful plate settings, there are some water bubbles. Unfortunately, about 2 years ago, I threw a very epic Halloween party and it got a little bit out of hand. So the next day when I woke up, I realized that there was a mess. And so when we cleaned it up, we realized that there was bubbles in the table. My mom doesn't know about that yet, so we're just gonna leave these plate settings here and make sure that she never finds out. So on the plate settings, they are accompanied by these beautiful martini glasses. So because I did own a wine company, I used to do a lot of photo shoots with these beautiful glasses. So I went ahead and I collected a bunch of them, and we do use them. I love to make spicy margaritas, espresso martinis. I'm about to show you guys my bar cart in a few once we head over to the kitchen, but I really just love displaying them because they're beautiful. Although this is a very large dining room table, because I have a massive family, whenever we do gatherings for Thanksgiving or Christmas, we have to remove all of the furniture in the sitting area, and then we add on another table, and then we actually add on 2 other tables. But this is the main one, so all of the elderly and the adults get to sit on this one. We wine and dine them and make sure that, you know, they're the ones that get really well taken care of, like my abuelita. And so yeah, this is like the grown people table. And then all the cousins, we just kind of sit on the side. But I wanted, again, this room to feel very opulent and just elevated, very classy. And so I wanted it to also feel very romantic. So whenever I do have dinners, I do replace the candles, light them up. I just love this room so much. On this wall, we have a photograph of Audrey Hepburn. So I did thrift this. I found this at an antique store called Lullabies. I love going there. This is breakfast at Tiffany's, and so I just felt like it went perfectly with the dining room area. I get a lot of compliments on it, and I love that it's black and white, and I just feel like it really does bring the room in together. Again, I just love the molding on the walls, and I love that it's only in the dining room area because it makes it feel like a whole different experience. So now you are greeted by my beautiful, open, spacious living room. I love that it opens up to the second floor, to the kitchen. As soon as you walk in, the first thing you see is the living room. I love the tall ceilings. It really makes the room feel even bigger. And I bought this house with my family in mind, so I knew that I wanted a really big living room, and I really needed a big, big couch. So this is honestly where most of my family time happens. We get here together, when was it? Last year on Thanksgiving, or I believe it was Christmas, we decided to do a hot cocoa night. All of my cousins came over, and we all fit in this massive couch, and I love it. We're a really big family, and I'm very close to my family. So every single piece in my house, I really did have my family in mind when picking it out. Over here, we have this beautiful accent chair. I would say this was honestly my first big investment. I bought this chair from CB2 I would say about like 3 years ago. So she was definitely an investment. Over here, we have a magazine rack, and I love this magazine rack because it is full of vintage Playboy magazines, literally from the 90s, and I just love collecting them. And also this magazine rack is vintage, so again, you'll find a lot of vintage pieces throughout my house. I love modern pieces like this and then complementing it with vintage pieces. And this beautiful, beautiful mirror. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with it. I remember seeing it online, and I remember, seeing everybody post it, and one of my dreams was to get this mirror. So I got it on Black Friday because we love to save money here, but we still wanted it to look very luxurious. I would say this wall I struggled with the most on styling, which is why I wanted to get help from an interior designer, because for the longest time, I didn't know what to do with this wall. And so whenever Megan came in and she added this faux plant with the vase, it just, again, it like brought everything together. At first, I just had this mirror right next to the fireplace, and she was telling me how I was competing. And so I was like, oh, I see what she means. But I love to sit here. Again, the more room, the better. For my coffee table, I wanted it to just feel very luxurious, but also very feminine. So this book is actually, again, thrifted, and I like to flip it to different pages. And so you have a bunch of actors, actresses on here. Again, we have more crystals. This is smoky quartz. And you will see all of these throughout the entire house. My house just smells absolutely divine. I love it. If you notice, I have a lot of black going on throughout my house. I'm wearing black. I love the color black. I just feel like it's very sleek and chic. I feel like that's basically me. It's like feminine, sexy, but you know, kind of old school. So I love it. Over here in the little corner of my living room, you actually see this huge telescope. This was a gift from my brother. I am super into astrology and the stars and the moon. So whenever there's a full moon or I just feel like being with nature, I take my telescope outside. It is a little bit crooked because I fell trying to carry it outside. It's actually very heavy. So I don't take her out that often, but when I do, I even have my friends sometimes look through it. And it's really cool. If you never look through a telescope, you need to at least once in your lifetime. It's very magical to just get to look at the full moon at night and get to see that up close. So I have her here and yeah, I love her. She's so cute. I would say my favorite thing about my home is that it's not perfect. It's just kind of very lived in. I feel like at first I was very anal about everything being super aesthetically pleasing and everything being super perfect and nobody move and nobody touch anything. But I do have a very big family and I bought this home for my family. I host Christmas, Thanksgiving. And so I just kind of, you know, let loose and I'm like, a home is meant to be lived in. So I just love that, you know, it's just very warm and inviting and it's just me. My home is a representation of me. I feel like every single room has a different, you know, touch and part of me and I just love it. It's just a girl's home. I'm just a girl. So now from the living room, you are met with the kitchen and there is this beautiful arc. I love how open the kitchen is, especially when my family is over and, you know, the adults are cooking and the kids are in the living room. You could just have open conversations and we actually spend a lot more time in the kitchen than in the living room, especially whenever I have my cousins come over and we're doing a get together or we're getting together for a couple of drinks. We all basically surround the island table. And so we did replace all of the countertops with this beautiful marble slab. It used to be like this granite nude confetti type of situation and I knew that I wanted the kitchen to definitely feel a little bit more modern but not too modern. I like everything to look very homey and so because the island table is the prize of the kitchen, I wanted this to have most of the attention. So we have this beautiful vase with these arrangements on here. Again, we have candles. We have candles everywhere in the kitchen. We also went ahead and added these gold handles. The house did not come with handles anywhere because this is a brand new home. And so, yeah, I definitely wanted to add gold into the kitchen because I just feel like it makes it look a little bit more feminine, a little bit more expensive. I love fruit, so there is always fruit here throughout the entire year. Again, because I have a lot of people come over, this basically doesn't even last an entire week. But Megan really helped bring this kitchen together because this kitchen used to be plain. It literally had nothing. So if you look over here, you have some books. We have a cooking book that I honestly will probably never use. You know, I'm not in my wifey era yet. I have been single for most of my life, and so I feel like I'm not gonna enter my cooking era until I get married. So for now, I am perfectly fine with cooking the same meals and just living my best life. But this is the showstopper. This was a gift from my mom, and it is my wonderful fridge, and it has this touchscreen on here, and it shows you the weather, everything, and every single morning I play music. So I love playing Lana Del Rey, the Marias, Ludovico Einaudi. I love listening to piano in the morning. It just kind of wakes me up. It makes my soul just very, very happy. And so the kitchen looks very aesthetically pleasing until you look at this wall over here. Again, I need everything to look aesthetically pleasing, but I still love to add those touches of, you know, family throughout. So I have a lot of pictures of my family, and it makes me very happy. And I love whenever people come visit, they get surprised by this little section of my kitchen. And so the kitchen actually connects to this smaller dining area. Again, we replaced the lighting here. I didn't want to do a chandelier. I wanted to do something a little bit more casual. So we did this lighting, and it is accompanied by this beautiful floral. Again, I just love florals throughout my house. I just feel like they're very, very feminine. And this piece right here is one of a kind. This is Marilyn Monroe. This is 193 out of 325 that are out there in the world. And I thrifted this, and I knew that she had to come with me. I knew that it had to be in my kitchen because it's just, I don't know, it's just like a breath of fresh air. So in the morning, I usually have my breakfast here, and this is like my little area. And it ties in perfectly with my beautiful bar cart. So I do host a lot of parties and gatherings here. So usually this is the main area that we come to. What's really cool is I actually have my wine that I launched. So we have some red wine, some rosé. It's called Bear Wine. Unfortunately, I discontinued it. It was really good during COVID whenever I launched it because you couldn't really go into the stores. So I decided to do canned wine online, and it was very successful, amazing. Oh my God, but you know what? These are tiny but dangerous because one can is 13.2% alcohol. I believe the strongest one is 14%. So one of these little cans has that much alcohol. They're tiny but dangerous, just like me. Over here we have these really cool shot glasses. I got these in Mexico whenever I went to go visit my family, and yeah, everybody loves to take shots out of these. I mean, I do too. We have some card games and yeah, just a variety of different bottles here. I'm sure you guys have seen these before, and this was a gift from my Noble 33 fam. And yeah, I love my bar cart. I feel like everyone needs one in their life. If I'm being quite honest with you, my signature drink is just straight up tequila with Red Bull. I don't really like cocktails unless I'm at dinner. I will pregame with like an espresso martini or a spicy margarita, and then after that, it's nothing but shots. I think it's just in my blood. My abuelito, que en paz descanse, he loved tequila, and me and him have the same birthday. So my mom's like, oh my God, you came out just like your grandpa. Both of you guys just like straight tequila. So yeah, but I do love making cocktails for my friends. I made spicy margaritas for my best friend Jackie and I the other day, and we were up in my closet just organizing, and it was really cool. But yeah, I love using the bar cart. I'm not the best bartender, but I'll make sure you get drunk. So that's all that matters. So we are now headed to my bedroom, but before you enter, you are greeted by my ofrenda. So Dia de los Muertos is celebrated in my culture where we honor our loved ones that have passed away. So here you have my abuelito, and you usually offer things that they loved when they were present. So I have some tequila here for my abuelito, for my friend Tito, and Doña Chayo, which is my stepdad's mom. She loved wearing red lipstick, so that's why I have a red lipstick there for her. You do offer some pan dulce, you know, anything that they really loved. And the candles, you're supposed to light white candles to help guide them here to the ofrenda. And you do have the skull for, you know, Dia de los Muertos. And so it does last a couple of days, and it's just a part of my culture, and it makes me very happy. And so it just started, so maybe that's why I wasn't able to go to sleep last night. They were probably just waking me up being like, you have to be on time tomorrow. But yeah, it makes me very, very, very happy to have this before you enter my room. So now we are in my bedroom, and the first thing you see when you walk in is this beautiful frame right here. So this is whenever the Marines and the veterans and everybody would come home, and a photographer shot this in Times Square in New York, kissing his spouse. And I'm such a romantic, I'm such a hopeless romantic. And so I just wanted to have this piece up here in my bedroom, and I love it. I think it's just beautiful. I'm single AF, but it's okay. Here we have my dresser. I wanted it to be very sleek and simple, but we have this beautiful Marilyn Monroe book that I thrifted. This is actually my favorite page, so I have it opened to this one. She looked like if you bit her, milk and honey would flow from her. It has a bunch of photographs throughout her years. Marilyn Monroe is just such an icon. I absolutely love her. Again, this is one of a kind, and I love finding very unique pieces. So yeah, it's very beautiful. And I have the red roses to match her lipstick. Paying attention to detail. I love how it brings it together. And so now you see my entire bedroom, and if you look up, you see the most beautiful, extravagant chandelier. I love how it has those black accents at the top because it really ties in with the black accent pillows and the throw blanket, and it's just absolutely grand. It almost reminds me of The Great Gatsby. That's one of my favorite movies. But now that I got this room fully furnished and decorated, I spend more time here. My best friend Jackie actually mentioned it the other day. She's like, I just realized that you spend more time in your bedroom now. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Now that it feels like an actual bedroom, I love it. If you notice here on the side dressers, I have a picture here of my beautiful mom. I believe she was like 21 or 22, but she is the blueprint. She is the reason that I am here. And of course I had to have her right next to my bedroom. And again, we have more vintage books, and this was actually a gift from YSL, from PR gifting. And so by the end of the day, whenever I'm done, I place all of my earrings there. I love chunky gold jewelry, so I keep that there on the side of my table. I always like to work on my bedroom, so I keep my laptop here. This is a beautiful laptop case from Heaven Mayhem, and it also ties in with the room. The rug is kind of like this really cool leopard wannabe print. I don't really know. It kind of looks like leopard print, but it's not. We're just gonna pretend like it is because I feel like it makes the room look very feminine. And usually here I just sit down, put on my shoes, take off my shoes. And now on this side of the bed, you have the other dresser. And this is probably my favorite little corner of the room because of everything that's on it. So here we have my perfume bottle, which is Bella Perversa. I love the red accents of it. It makes the room feel definitely more luxurious. And we have my rosary that my abuelita gifted me. I recently went to Mexico to go see her, and she blessed it, and I just love keeping this next to my bedroom. And then I have a really cute note here from my mom. It says, para la niña más hermosa, la que es todo en mi vida, te amo muñeca tu mom. Basically just means that I'm her entire world and that she loves me, and my mom is my best friend, so I like to just have her throughout my house because without her, I wouldn't be here. And so I just love her so much. I love my mom. She's my best friend. This sitting area, it honestly doesn't really get used. I don't really have a lot of people in my bedroom. I will say that I'm very picky about my bedroom. Not a lot of people honestly come into my bedroom unless I'm having like a sleepover with my sisters or something. So we don't really get to use these, but I do love this really cute sitting area. This was actually, this is faux, but it looks real. But this was created, I believe, somewhere in the UK. And I love orchids. I feel like they definitely elevate a room, and they're very feminine as well. And so we really wanted to make the room very feminine. Whenever I didn't have any florals in here, I had mentioned to my interior designer that the room felt a little bit too masculine because there was a lot of black and neutrals in here. So as soon as we added all the florals, it really made it feel more feminine. And so that's what I was looking for. And I love my bedroom. This is where the magic happens, which is sleeping. So what's really interesting about this wall and this artwork in specific is that there is a huge window behind here that I absolutely hated because it would wake me up in the morning. I hate the sunlight, okay? I need blackout curtains. I like to be in pitch darkness. And so I asked how we could cover the window, and it is with this beautiful wall art. I actually sourced this myself, and again, I love that I had the little black accents in it to kind of tie in everything together. But that's why you kind of see some light coming from behind it, is because there's a window behind it, and I think it looks really cool. So yeah, it looks like there's a light in there, but it's actually just a window in the natural lighting. It makes it look more expensive. Honestly, my piece of advice, if you want to do social media or go the route that I did, is just do it. Just post that video. You know, you cannot care what anyone is going to say because no one's going to live in your shoes. And so I received a lot of hate in the beginning of my career, especially coming from a small town here. I didn't care. I knew that the sky was the limit, and I knew that I had goals, and if I wanted to achieve them, I was the only person that would have to put in the work. And so my advice would just be to be consistent, be authentic, and just make sure that you are passionate about what you are trying to pursue. I feel like me pursuing makeup, it genuinely is something that I love, that I do almost every day. You know, my makeup routine is always changing, and so that's what keeps it fun and it keeps me creative. And yeah, as long as you have those three things, I feel like, you know, that's just a recipe for success. And I do want to say, success does not mean X amount of money in your bank account. To me, success means just being abundant. I'm very thankful that my career has been able to not only help out my community, but I've been able to help out my family and my friends. And when you strip away all the materialistic things, that's what really matters to me. And so, yeah, I feel like just staying humble as well is another really important thing. One of my I made it moments was probably when I had my first ever makeup collaboration. I feel like as a beauty influencer, to create a product with the brand and them wanting to collaborate with you is like such a dream. I feel like any beauty influencer dreams of having a collab. And so I was able to create my own makeup palette, and it's very unique. Again, I'm so creative, and I never want to recreate anything that has already been out there. So my makeup palette, which you will see in my home, turns into an actual vanity, and there's nothing like it out there. And so that was one of my I made it moments. I couldn't believe it. And after that, it kind of got the ball rolling. I was able to secure some really cool campaigns and be all over the malls and stuff. And so yeah, working with Morphe and doing meet and greets and being all around nationwide at the malls was just like insane to me. So yeah, I feel like I'm still having those moments. I feel like I'm always able to evolve and elevate. So yeah, but that was one of my first I made it moments. So now I want to take you guys upstairs and show you all my favorite rooms of the house. I'm so excited, so follow me. So what really sold me on the house was these grand staircases. I love that it's spiral. I live my telenovela fantasy on here. And because I have my closet upstairs, I get to come down with my very extravagant outfits, and I just make a very grand entrance whenever I host my gatherings. First, come up the stairs, you are greeted by these wall frames, and this is actually my mom and my sisters. I like to curate these photo shoots for my family members and I, just so I can hang it throughout the house. And yeah, this has to be one of my favorite walls because of the monochromatic black and white moment. But that is me, I'm the eldest, and then that's Nicole, she's the youngest. She is 19, and then that is Daphne. She is actually turning 23. Capricorn, Taurus, Libra, and then my beautiful mommy and I, she is a Taurus and I am a Libra. I am her only child. My sisters and I are half siblings, and we share the same dad. So because my sisters and I do look a lot alike, everybody thinks that my mom is their mom, but we have different moms, but we share the same dad. So now if you follow me over here. So now we are in my glam room, and this is what really steals the show, is my wig wall. This has just been a collection of mine throughout the years. Every single wig has a different story, different era. I was in different parts of my life with these wigs. They're honestly very iconic and I love them. I have really invested a lot of money into very high quality human hair wigs. And yeah, my friends and family members love to come here and try them on and play with them. And whenever I get bored of my short bob, I can just wake up one day and pop on the pink wig, and whoever ends up dating me is just never going to get bored of me. So, you know, that's a W for them. But I do have 2 different makeup stations. So during the daytime, I like to sit here and use the natural lighting. I do usually film most of my makeup tutorials with the natural lighting. I sometimes feel like vanity lights can be a little bit too harsh. So even at that, whenever my sisters sleep over here, they can get ready there, I can get ready there. So it's the best of both worlds. This vanity is from Impressions Vanity. They gifted it to me. I'm very thankful for that. But I have a huge makeup collection. So every single drawer you see on here is literally filled with makeup. I have been, you know, collecting makeup for years. It is just my passion. So yeah, I love nudes. I think that is like my favorite color. So I know that these drawers right here look organized, okay? But let's be honest, every single girl's vanity is probably a mess and it stays clean for like 2 days max because I'm always switching up my makeup products. So I have more lipsticks here. I'm just gonna keep it raw and real with you guys. I have some blushes here, and these are my new products. This one is just kind of a junk drawer. Here we have setting sprays, face mask here. Here we have some puffs. Down here, another junk drawer. I just have a bunch of random makeup. For the most part, they do stay organized, but the other ones don't. But I love NARS, I love lipstick. So this is my lip liner collection. I love lip liners. This one, a little bit sad. This one, I mean, hey, every girl's vanity is just kind of all over the place, you know? So yeah, I have so much stuff here. This right here is actually a custom speaker. This was from Carol G's Mañana Será Bonito tour. This was a Christmas gift to myself. I love music. I have speakers all throughout the house, on my fridge, in my bedroom, in my shower. Music is very, very, very important to me, and I love just playing Bad Bunny and, you know, having a perreo in my glam room every time I'm getting ready. I do love to go on live and play music at the same time. So what my favorite product of 2024 is, I just bought a new one, but I have this one here because she is just used and abused. This is my Makeup by Mario palette, and as you can tell, I really, really love her. I just think this is perfect for every day. I did my eyeshadow with the Master Matte's Cool Tone one, but I use this one and the other one all the time. But if you are looking for a makeup palette to have in your collection that is for everyday use, I highly recommend this one. It is my favorite product of, honestly, probably like since it dropped. I feel like I use that makeup palette every single time I do my makeup routine. Back then I used to do very crazy, colorful, rainbow glitter half cut creases, but now that I'm 27, I like kind of a more simple glam, but I'm still a glam girly, so yeah. These bins that you see right here are actually storage drawers for shoes, but I needed storage for my makeup, especially because I brought all my makeup from LA over here. So I do have it organized. Here are my eye toppers. Here we have colorful eyeliners. We have lipsticks. We have bronzers. We have highlighters, concealer, blushes. We have foundations. These are more organized. More foundations, primers, powders. These are eyebrow products. These are skincare products. We have so many beauty blenders here. Need to wash those. We have mini palettes here. I mean, like anything you can think of, I have, especially for Halloween. I I have my paints right here. Again, my favorite color is Tiffany blue, so I have a drawer dedicated to just Tiffany blue everything. So yeah, again, I love to share my makeup, so I have this basically for my family. If you see over here, I actually got this gifted from Morphe. This is whenever I did the Make It Big campaign with them. So they gifted me this and I think it's really cool. That frame down there, I wanted to do a Mom, I Am a Rich Man photo shoot. And so I kind of like it down here. I didn't really want to hang them up. I feel like it adds a little bit more just having them down here. And then once you walk over here, you are met with both of my bookcases, makeup cases. I don't know what you would really call them, but I have displayed here some of my accomplishments. So this is from the campaign with Morphe. I have my campaign with Milani. My palette, I have some of my friends' brands on here. I love to also have that on display, but this is my beautiful palette right here that I was talking about downstairs. So it was limited edition. We sold out 3 times and it was a moment of its own. I got to fully create this and my favorite color is Tiffany blue. So that is why we chose this to kind of look like a little Tiffany blue box. And it's very, very, very beautiful and iconic to say the least. So I wanted to display my makeup palettes to kind of look like books. Because I do have a lot of makeup, I don't get to use all of it, but I do get to share my makeup with all of my loved ones. I basically call this like a mini Sephora because my family comes here. If they're looking for lipstick, blush, whatever it is, I literally tell them, grab whatever you want. I'm very blessed to have all of this makeup. And so the most I could do with it is share it. But over here, I guess we have my awards. So these are my plaques from YouTube. Whenever I reached 100K, a million, I won this award from the American Influencer Awards, the Trendsetter of the Year. I also went on tour with Full Screen Live, and yeah, that was a moment in my life. I enjoyed it. I did a meet and greet tour and I basically went to a different state. I did a meet and greet and then I did a show and then I would head back to the hotel, pack and then leave and then do it all over again. And it was like that for every single weekend and I wouldn't change it for the world. Again, I'm very, very thankful that my job is makeup and being on social media. And at any point I could have made my glam room very bougie and luxurious, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it kind of, very nostalgic to when I first began my makeup career. And this is just my favorite room because I'm just a girl. Honestly, I grab inspiration from everything around me, from people, places, music, things, books, poems. I write poems myself. I journal a lot. I have always been a very creative person since I was very young, aesthetically, creatively, and just creative in general. But I really do get inspired by just anything. I can get inspired by nature, and I will literally go and rip off a branch from a tree and then bring it home and put it in a vase and just see if it looks good or not. So yeah, I think that you can grab creativity from absolutely anything. My imagination is just very big, and so I like to kind of just visualize it and have everything in my home that I feel like creates me. All right, so now we're in my brand new Pilates studio. I had a vision for this room and it came to life. Now, at first I just had the reformer here, but I really wanted it to feel like a at-home Pilates studio. So I had Cesarin, which is a family friend of ours who has been working with our family for 10 plus years. He is the one that has furnished and hung up, and he really has outdone himself. And so I told him that I was envisioning a wall just with mirrors. And because I do have a spiral staircase, he was kind of like, I was like, please. I was like, I just have this vision. So we did a full custom wall of mirrors. And then if you look up, we have this beautiful wallpaper on the ceiling. It almost is like cotton candy, dreamy, just, I wanted it to feel very, very feminine and girly in here, especially doing Pilates. I wanted to feel like a Pilates princess. So this is a wallpaper from Wallism, and I absolutely love it. And then the chandelier, I feel like is what really, really brought the room together, tied in with the gold accents up here. And the wallpaper just, I love this room. Like I don't think you guys understand how much I love it. We do have a sound bowl here. Again, I love to meditate and do breath work. And so I'm gonna just play it one time for you guys because it can get really loud. It gets like really loud, but I love my sound bowls. They're really, really good for your chakras. And so I do yoga here. Yeah, this reformer machine is from Personal Hour. It took a while for it to get here, but it was probably the best investment ever. I think health is wealth and my body is my temple. So I have always had a very active lifestyle. Since I was in high school, I was in the swim team, I was in tennis, I was in drill team, competitive dancing. So yeah, now that I'm a little bit older, I really do enjoy Pilates. This is the newest addition to the Pilates studio. So this is a bar, and this looks so simple, but oh my goodness, this actually is the most intense workout ever. I really wanted to become flexible again. I was very flexible, and not the most flexible, but I was more flexible in high school with being in dancing and stuff. So I used to do bar workouts when we would compete, and so I wanted to kind of get back into that. But yeah, this is my Pilates studio. Okay guys, so I wanted to save the best for last. So we are now in my dream walk-in closet. This was one of my I made it moments. Again, Cesarin and Juan were able to come here and make my vision come to life. So what's really cool about this is I really wanted it to feel like it was built into the house. And so there's not really any negative spaces throughout here. And my supporters actually helped me pick out the color. We repainted it like a good 3 times because I couldn't decide on what color I wanted. I wanted something neutral. I wanted something to look very cool tone and very monochromatic. And so everything is color coordinated. We have over here skirts, we have shirts and blouses. Here we have all of my black shirts, pants, jeans. Here we have my 2 pieces. Here we have my blazers. Here we have just my rompers, dresses, long, all of my whites and colorful clothing pieces. And this was a mission. I told him that I wanted a huge mirror. We didn't really know where to place it at first, but what's really cool also is that I fully designed the entire closet. Again, I'm a very creative visual person, so I did a little sketch and I showed it to Cesarin and I was like, this is what I'm envisioning. And he kind of came in and he tweaked a little bit of things, but for the most part, I designed this entire closet. And so when I was thinking about where I should place the mirror, I was like, what do I want in my background? And so I wanted the shoe wall to be in the background whenever I take my selfies. So this is my favorite wall of the entire room. I actually got inspired by the Cult Gaia store in Los Angeles. They have these like rows and they have their shoes and bags displayed. And so I knew that I kind of wanted to bring that over here. So this wall is mainly all of my neutral high heels. And I'm sure you have noticed, but there are no tennis shoes or running shoes anywhere. And that is because I wear heels more than I do actual shoes. And I blame my mom for that because my mom has twice as many heels as I do. And so she's a shopaholic, I'm a shopaholic, like mother, like daughter, but I love to have everything color coordinated and just to look aesthetically pleasing. So on this wall, we have all of my colorful shoes. This wall makes me very, very happy. We have a lot more storage over here. And it took me a long time to color coordinate these shoes because, again, I just need everything to look very perfect. But over here we have some of my perfumes. Again, here we have my perfume Bella Perversa. It just smells so extravagant. And actually, let me spray some on right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have some books here, and then we have this beautiful vintage Dior bag. I actually broke it, so sad, but it's okay. Over here we have the display of all of my handbags. Some of these are vintage, some of them are designer, some of them were gifted. From my bag collection, I do have a lot of vintage pieces, and probably my most unique piece that I feel like not a lot of people have in their collection has to be this bag right here. It's not only my favorite color, but it has almost this, I don't know what you would call this. There's a specific name for it, but I love the texture of it. I love how big it is. I love to travel with it. Unfortunately, these bags are so delicate. So if you can see here, it's already starting to change color. So you do have to have these bags in room temperature. If not, they start to kind of wear down. But second to that is this beautiful Louis Vuitton bag. It's my favorite color as well. This was a gift from my mom. It changed colors. It used to be more of like a mint color, but when I had it in my old closet, it did not have any AC in there. So that was very unfortunate. Probably last but not least, my favorite bag is probably this one because it has my fucks to give. No, I'm playing, but it is so tiny, and I wore it for my birthday and people were like, what do you fit in there? I'm like, my lip gloss and just my lip gloss. But yeah, I absolutely love this wall. And then over here, of course, we have all of my black clothing. I love black. I love wearing black. I think it's just such an easy color to style. And my Scorpio is in Venus. I mean, my Venus is in Scorpio, so my Venus loves this wall. And if you can see up here, there is an empty shelf up there because I'm waiting to fill it up with more shoes. I love black heels. I just love the color black. And then this chandelier really makes the room feel more extravagant and opulent, and I absolutely love it. It was a very intricate chandelier, so you had to individually put every single little piece one by one. So that was probably the most tedious job from what Cesarin and Juan told me. But yeah, I want to give full credit to them because they really brought my vision to life. And what's really cool is that behind this mirror is a full closet because this used to be a movie theater room. And so I wanted to completely cover the closet. And so we decided to cover it with the mirror. I could have had an island table here, but I wanted it to feel big and open, kind of like a department store. And again, I do just want to say that when you strip all of these materialistic things away, it doesn't really matter and it doesn't define me. I feel like these are just fruits of my labor, but for me, really what matters is my health and my family. So yeah, don't let materialistic things define you. A funny story about some of these heels. First is this pair right here that you see, these YSL heels. These were my partying heels, okay? And I dislocated my ankle with them. And I bought this pair 3 times because I just love them so much. But after I dislocated my ankle, I was like, you know what? I think they look better over here. If you can tell, they're so worn out. I don't even know what happened here. I woke up the next day with my ankle swollen and this piece was missing. So that's how you know I had a good time. But my most recent and probably my favorite pair has to be these vintage Valentino heels. They are black and they mimic kind of a lace pattern. And if I were to be a heel, I would be this kind of heel. I used to wear a lot of high heels and now I'm more into kitten heels. But I would say right now my partying shoes would be these. I love these Christian Louboutins. They're my favorite and they are actually so comfortable. As you can tell, I have worn these out, but yeah, these were a birthday present to myself. The The word home to me means love. My home is filled with love every single time that I am here by myself or that I have friends or family over. My family to me is home. And so, I mean, that's what home means to me, is love. Homeworthy, thank you so much for coming to my home. It was a pleasure having you, but now I have to go. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.